Good morning, everyone. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. What do you see? A reflection of yourself, the real, unfiltered version of you. The mirror never lies. It shows us our truth. And yet, too often, we let our insecurities distort that truth. Today, I want to remind you of a simple yet powerful message. Love what you see. Point one, self-acceptance is the first step to happiness. Loving what you see in the mirror starts with self-acceptance, but for many of us, that is easier said than done. From a young age, we are conditioned to seek approval from our families, our peers, and society. We learn to measure our worth based on external validation, often believing that we must look a certain way to be accepted or loved. Over time, this leads to self-doubt and insecurity, making it difficult to truly embrace ourselves. But the truth is, self-acceptance is not about fitting into someone else's idea of beauty. It's about recognizing and appreciating your own uniqueness. Each of us is one of a kind. There has never been and will never be another person exactly like you. Every feature, every imperfection, every mark on your body tells a story of resilience, survival, and growth. Those laugh lines, they are proof of the joy and laughter you have experienced. The scars, they remind you of battles you have overcome. Even the things you sometimes wish you could change are part of what makes you you. When you learn to see yourself through a lens of self-compassion rather than self-criticism, you begin to shift your perspective. Self-acceptance also means understanding that perfection is an illusion. No matter how hard we try, we will never be flawless, and we don't have to be. The world's standards of beauty are constantly changing, proving that they are arbitrary and unattainable. What was considered perfect a decade ago is no longer the same today. So why chase an impossible ideal when you can instead embrace the beauty of being real? Learning to love yourself requires patience. It is a journey, not a destination. Some days will be harder than others, and that's okay. The important thing is to practice kindness toward yourself. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a loved one. Would you tell a friend they aren't good enough? Would you criticize a child for the way they look? Then why do it to yourself? Replace negative self-talk with affirmations. I am enough. I am beautiful. I am worthy of love and respect. The more you practice self-love, the more natural it becomes when you accept yourself fully, both your strengths and your flaws. You free yourself from the burden of seeking validation. You begin to feel more confident, more at peace, and more in control of your own happiness. And that confidence is what makes a person truly beautiful. Because in the end, self-acceptance is not just about loving your reflection. It's about embracing your entire being, inside and out. Key point two, beauty is more than skin deep. A mirror reflects only what is on the surface, but true beauty goes far beyond what the eye can see. Society often places too much emphasis on appearance, making us believe that our worth is determined by how closely we align with certain beauty standards. However, the most beautiful qualities in a person, kindness, intelligence, compassion, and confidence, can never be measured by a reflection. When we learn to look beyond physical traits and embrace our inner selves, we begin to see our true beauty in a new and profound way. Think about the people you admire the most. Is it their flawless skin or perfect body that draws you to them? Or is it their warmth, their ability to make others feel valued, their strength in difficult times? Beauty is not just about what is on the outside, it is about the way you carry yourself, the way you treat others, and the energy you bring into a room. A genuine smile, a caring heart, and a positive attitude are far more attractive than any physical feature. Yet, so many of us allow our self-worth to be dictated by what we see in the mirror. We pick ourselves apart, focusing on what we believe are imperfections instead of recognizing the qualities that truly define us. The truth is, no amount of external beauty can replace a kind heart, a brilliant mind, or a spirit that uplifts others. When we stop chasing an unattainable idea of perfection and instead invest in our character, our confidence grows. And confidence, more than anything else, is what makes someone truly beautiful. When you look in the mirror, remind yourself that what you see is only a small part of who you are. Your reflection may show your face, but it cannot reflect your kindness, your resilience, or the impact you have on the people around you. Beauty is not something you see. It is something you feel and something you share. The moment you start valuing yourself for your heart and mind rather than just your appearance, you will realize that you are far more beautiful than you ever thought. Key point 3, break free from society's unrealistic standards. We live in a world that constantly bombards us with images of so-called perfection. Everywhere we look, on social media, in advertisements, in movies and magazines, we see carefully curated versions of beauty, often edited, filtered, and altered to fit unrealistic standards. These images create a false narrative, making us believe that beauty comes in only one shape, size, or form. Over time, this conditioning can make us feel as if we are not good enough, as if we must change ourselves to be accepted. But the truth is, beauty is diverse, and self-worth should never be measured by society's shifting and unattainable ideals. The problem with societal beauty standards is that they are constantly changing. Decades ago, one body type was celebrated. Today, it's another. What is considered fashionable or attractive now may not be the same in the future. If we spend our lives trying to mold ourselves into society's definition of beauty, we will always be chasing something that is just out of reach. Instead of striving to fit into a mold that was never meant for everyone, we should embrace the fact that beauty is not one size fits all. Breaking free from these unrealistic standards starts with understanding that much of what we see is not real. Many of the images online are digitally enhanced, airbrushed, or carefully posed to highlight only the most flattering angles. Comparing ourselves to these images is unfair because they do not represent reality. Even celebrities and models who seem to embody society's ideals struggle with insecurities and rely on professional teams to create the perfect look. If they, with all the resources available to them, cannot live up to these impossible standards, why should we expect ourselves to? Instead of allowing social media and mainstream culture to define our worth, we must take control of our own narrative. True beauty comes from self-confidence, self-love, and embracing who we are as we are. The moment we stop comparing ourselves to others and start focusing on our own strengths, we begin to see ourselves in a new light. Confidence is the most attractive quality a person can have, and it comes from accepting ourselves completely, not from conforming to it. By rejecting society's rigid beauty standards, we set ourselves free. We create space to appreciate our individuality and the uniqueness of those around us. We begin to see beauty in all forms, in all people, and most importantly, in ourselves. When we learn to define beauty on our own terms, we no longer need validation from the outside world because we know deep down that we are enough just as we are. Key point 4, your reflection is a reminder of your journey. Every time you look in the mirror, you are not just seeing your reflection, you are seeing a story, a journey, and a person who has lived through experiences that have shaped them. Your reflection is not just about appearances, it is a reminder of your growth, your resilience, and everything you have overcome. Yet too often we focus only on what we wish we could change rather than appreciating what our reflection truly represents. Think about all the challenges you have faced in life. Every hardship, every struggle, and every victory has contributed to the person staring back at you. Perhaps you see a face that has shed tears in difficult moments, but still found the strength to smile. Perhaps you see a body that has carried you through years of ups and downs, allowing you to move, create, and experience life. Instead of criticizing what you see, try to recognize the strength in your reflection. Your body is not just something to be judged, it is something to be honored and appreciated for all that is allowed you to do. We often forget that our appearance is constantly changing. The way you look today is not the way you looked 5 years ago, and it won't be the way you look 5 years from now. Aging, experiences, and time will continue to shape you. Instead of fearing these changes, embrace them as signs of a life well lived. The lines on your face will tell stories of laughter. The marks on your body will remind you of growth. And every change will be a symbol of the experiences that have made you who you are. Loving what you see in the mirror is not about striving for perfection. It is about embracing reality with kindness and gratitude. Speak to your reflection with the same warmth and encouragement you would offer to a close friend. Instead of saying, "I wish I looked different," try saying, "I am proud of who I am." Instead of focusing on flaws, focus on the parts of yourself that you admire, not just physically, but in terms of the person you are becoming. Your reflection is more than just an image. It is a testament to your strength, your growth, and your journey. When you stand in front of the mirror, don't just look at yourself, see yourself. See the person who has endured, learned, and evolved. See the beauty in your existence. And most importantly, see someone who is worthy of love exactly as they are. But too often we allow our insecurities and societal pressures to distort what we see. We focus on flaws instead of strengths, on imperfections instead of the incredible person staring back at us. It's time to change that narrative. Loving what you see in the mirror is not about fitting into unrealistic beauty standards or chasing perfection. It's about self-acceptance, recognizing that true beauty comes from within and breaking free from the pressures that tell us we are not enough. Your reflection is a reminder of your journey, your resilience, and everything that makes you unique. So the next time you stand in front of the mirror, choose to see yourself with kindness. Choose to celebrate your strengths, your growth, and the beauty of simply being you. Because at the end of the day, when you love what you see, the world will see that love shine through.